Welcome back to another BD Outdoors Sportboat Roundup. This past week's bluefin bite has tapered off a little bit, and that means it's time to talk strategy. When the bite becomes finicky, here are some things I've noticed to really take into account when you're out on the water. Number one, first and foremost, listen to your captain. They're seeing what we cannot, both surrounding the boat and underneath the boat. If he says to change your sinker size, reel in, swap it out, just to make sure you're in the right zone. I've mentioned situational awareness before. Look around at what's going on around you. Use a fly line or Colt snipers when bluefin are boiling in the chum line, and after a few bait changes, switch it up. Cast out Colt sniper or Zakana jig. Let it fall for about 30 seconds to a minute and start burning it back. If you brought multiple rods, use them. You really need to use everything in your arsenal to capitalize in whatever situation you might run into that day. Every day is something different, so don't just assume based on past reports that one setup is going to be sufficient enough. And pay attention to the side of the boat you should be fishing on and what side the deckhands are throwing bait to during a drift. Always fish the opposite side that bait is being thrown to. If you're the only person on one side of the boat, you're on the wrong side of the boat. When getting a bite is tough, change your bait size, even your hook size. It might be too big or too small for the bait. Where you're even hooking the bait, where you're even casting out from. Bluefin are finicky, and sometimes it's tough to get them to stick around, so capitalize on every stop. And lastly, you don't always want to copy what the person next to you is doing. They might be using a different jig that needs a certain action, a sinker rig where it's constantly a slow drop, slow retrieve, or even a fly line bait. If you have any questions, your deckhands will point you in the right direction. Hopefully you guys found this week's video helpful, and I'll be checking in with you guys next week.